Let's see. Where are we? (32) Okay, Genesis 32. Last week we talked about Jacob and Laban. They come to the agreement that they're going to separate. We already talked about Laban never mean good to Jacob, and he just used Jacob in whatever he think he can take advantage of. Even you know that he is Jacob's real uncle. And his two daughters become Jacob's wife, but he doesn't care. He just cares about himself. And this is a very greedy man. And he tricks everyone, and he thinks that that is the way to live a life. He's smarter, he's stronger, and he can do whatever he wants. But here he learned that God will take care of him. So he come to the point that he know he cannot touch Jacob because the protection of God, and God want him. And he know that if he doesn't listen, bad thing will happen to him. So now chapter 32, we will talk more about Jacob on his way back to Canaan, to his homeland. After 20 years, he left home and never come back for 20 years. It's a long time. And I know that many of us have the same experience. We left our home, our country for 10, 20, even 30 or 40 years, and some never return. And now he on his way to return home. He might have a lot of feeling. What he going to meet, what will happen to him, how he adjusts. Life in his hometown might be so different from what he had in Mesopotamia. In those 5,000 years ago, Mesopotamia is compared to be a big city. And Canaan still in the wilderness, no civilization. So anyway, but now one of the biggest concern of Jacob now is how he going to face his brother Esau. Because Esau already promised that he going to kill Jacob. That's why Jacob ran away for 20 years. And mom always say that when your brother stop angry at you, I will send someone to get you back. But mom never did. So it means that Esau never lose his temper, never forgive Jacob. He's still mad at Jacob. But another theory going on that might be Rebecca already dead. Yes, it got to be true because from now on, we never hear anything about Rebecca at all. She might already pass away, and it's quiet here. But still, nobody sent any news to Jacob that you can come home. So it means that the situation is still bad, but only God told Jacob, you should come home now. It's going to be okay now. Not because Esau will forgive you, but God will help you. So this is the better promise. It's not from Jacob. It's not from his family. It's not from his brother, but from God. God told him to come back, and God said that he will protect Jacob and his family. So that is the best thing. It's from God. Now he on his way, and the Bible says that on the way from verse 1 and 2, he met the army of angels. And he think that, oh, this is the place that angel station. You remember that 20 years ago when he sleep at that point, and he have a vision, he saw angel go up to heaven on that spot. So he said, oh, this is the place that angel come up and down from heaven to earth. So he called that place Bethel, house of God, or something. Well, but in fact, the angel come down everywhere, and the angels stay everywhere. It's not just a certain place, like people say that this is the place that God or some powerful people live here. So they come here to worship a certain people or certain places. But in fact, God is everywhere. An angel can go everywhere. So what he saw is just the vision that God allowed him to see. And by the fact God sent the angel with Jacob everywhere to protect him and his group. You remember that on the way from Mesopotamia to Canaan is several thousand miles, and it takes several months. And thief, robber, bad guy, always everywhere. Why? To rob the people. So this is a good chance that some bad thief will come and rob the army, I mean Jacob family and all the people that he had. He is supposed to lose something for sure. But here, he know now that the army of angels go with him to protect him and his family. And sometimes the angel show up to let him, to confirm to him that he's not alone. The angel go with him to protect him. And sometimes we don't see the angel. A lot of time we don't see it, but a lot of time the enemy can see it. That's very interesting. Why the enemy see the angel? Well, the purpose is to scare them, to warn them that you not get in touch or involved with this group because it's under the protection of angel and God. I heard a lot of story from missionary that they went to preach or evangelize to some group of people who don't believe in God, and the people always threaten them and try to harm them. And the missionary don't have any way to protect themselves, only they pray a lot. And one time they say that the leader of the group of the village, they think that they could get rid of the missionary family. They come at night and they intend to burn down the whole house and kick them away. But when they got there, they surround the house for a while and then they all run away. A few months later on, some people in the village come to accept Jesus. And the missionary always surprised at why. They ask them, and some of them tell the truth that night they came to the missionary house, tried to burn down the house, but they saw a lot of big people, big guy in white, dressed in white, and have all the weapon, all the sword, all the fire, protecting the house. And they asked the missionary, where all those people come from to protect you? So many of them, and all the villagers so afraid of them. So they run away. So now a lot of them want to know that where those people come from and where they gone. So the missionary know that are the angel of God that come to protect them. And more people come to become believer because of the power of God and the miracle that happened. And here, Jacob called that place Manahem. It's like the camp of God or the camp of angel. So he go on, and now on verse 3 and 6, Jacob know that his brother still very mad at him, so he have a plan. He think that, well, I should send some of my people go ahead to my brother and try to tell him in advance that I am coming. And more than that, I need to send him a lot of present. Why? To make him feel better that, oh, I come to be your friend. I'm not going to take away your anything. And he told his servant to tell Esau that I'm rich now. I don't need anything from you. You can keep everything. So we can be friends again. That's his intention. So he hoped that by saying that, doing that, he's going to make his brother feel good. Send a lot of present and confirm to his brother that he don't want anything. He already rich. He already have so many stuff. Well, that's his plan. So Jacob already sent a messenger to Esau with all the gifts and tried to tell him that I'm rich now. And in fact, he very rich, Jacob now. You see that he have hundreds of servants, thousands and thousands of sheep, goats, ox, camel, a lot of things. You remember that 20 years ago when Jacob left Canaan, he left alone with nothing at all, by himself. But now he come back with a lot of people, with a lot of treasure. He become a rich man. Now the messenger went and came back and told Jacob that your brother come to see you with 400 men. Now what that mean? Well, it means that your brother still angry at you. And the 400 men is soldier. They don't mean good. When you say that 400 men come to see you, it means that they're going to make war with you. They're going to kill you. So it means that Esau still really mad at Jacob and still think that he tried to come to take away his birthright and all his treasure, all his inheritance. So Esau think that I have to get rid of Jacob. I have a chance now. 400 men will come and kill everyone. Now Jacob know what that means. So he's so worried about his wife, his children, and everything going to die. What can he do? He very depressed. He very worried. That's normal. If we were Jacob, what we think? What should we do now? Well, he tried to plan. He tried to think, what should I do? What is the best thing? And because of now you compare the situation.
Justin 120 Big Brother.
Last time when he met with
Hello?
Laban,
Hello?
he
It's-
very confident, mean that he not worry about Laban at all, because he know that he's not wrong. He do the right thing. But now when he going to meet his brother, he's so afraid. Why? Because he know that he make mistake. He feel guilty because he lied to his brother. He tricked his brother. No, he know that he did wrong. So this is why he feel bad. He feel guilty. He feel afraid. He fear. Now, two different situations. He can face Laban without any regret, without worry, without fear, because he know that he did nothing wrong. He right. He correct. He justify himself that way. But now he got to face his brother in different situation because he know he wrong. He make mistake. He feel guilty and he afraid. Two different situations. Now, what can he do? Well, that is serious thing. Jacob might plan something. He divide all his people, his treasure, his flock, his servant into two big groups. Why? Because he think that he separate most of them in different way, walk in different direction. So in case that his brother kill one group, another group will survive. So he don't know which group will survive, which group will die. But at least some going to survive. So he separate into big group and let them walk in different direction. So that his plan. And then he prayed. So this is the last resource. And I think that the best thing that he did, he prayed to God. He told God that I make mistake. I have no hope now. I do not deserve your grace, your protection. But anyway, I beg you to help me. I know that I not deserve to get anything from you, but I have no other hope. I pray that you save me, save my family, and help me to deal with my brother. So this is his prayer, and God listened, because God listened to him from the beginning, and God going to help him, but he going to change a lot more. You see that he went through the process of God changing him and make him to be a new person. He's not the old Jacob anymore. After this situation, he could be a new person. And what that night, he sent all his treasure. He divided his wife in group and sent them across the river. The river that between him and his brother is the Jordan River. So this is the last obstacle that divide them is the Jordan River. So he did not cross it. He just sent his family crossing the river and go to separate ways, one to north, one to south. So he hoped that at least one group will survive. So that night he stayed on another side of the Jordan, and something happened. What will happen? Jacob was alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of day. Now he saw that he did not prevail against him. He touched the socket of his hip, and the socket of Jacob's hip was out of joy as he wrestled with him. Now the question is, what's going on? Who come to wrestle with Jacob? Well, a lot of theologians believe that this is not angel. This is God in the form of Jesus, the Son himself. And wrestling here is not meaning in the sense of fighting, but we believe that this comes in the sense of to support him, to be with him, and to encourage him in the sense that he and he hopeless, he have no hope, but God come to be with him that night to show him that God will be with him and help him. He have to trust in God. In the meaning of wrestling, it just means that we don't let go. He just hang on God until the end. And he did, literally did. He said that I won't let God go until God bless me. And this is the way that we're supposed to do too. We never give up on God. We never let go until God is with us. And this is the situation. He said, I won't let you go because I have no hope. Bless me. Some people say that Jacob can hold on God for the whole night. Well, the situation is not he can win, but God stay on to support him. But at the end of the night, God will go. And Jacob said, won't go. But when God touched on his socket, on his leg, he go limp. This means that God can go anytime, can do anything. It doesn't mean that Jacob can hold on God, but just to show him that he have to depend on God from now on forever. And the Bible says that Jacob will limping from that day on until the day he died. So that's a symbol that God put on him. You are a new man. You trust in God and you have to hold on God forever now. And the situation go on. At daybreak, what happened here? God told Jacob, what's your name? He said, Jacob. Jacob means that hold on, hang on, or never let go in that sense. And God said that from now on, your name going to be Israel. Israel. Come from two words in Hebrew, Salel, and El. Salah and El. It means that El means God. Salah means struggling or prevail. So it means that some people say that you're struggling with God or you win over God, but it's not the real meaning. It just means that God judge, God rule, God prevail. So this is in the sense that this group of people going to be judged by God or protected by God or ruled by God. In the sense, Israel is that meaning. So now Jacob changed to Israel now. From now on, he's a new man. And the Bible always clear on that. When people encounter God and they change their name too. Like Saul, when he encountered Jesus, he changed his name to be Paul. And Jesus changed the name of Peter to be Peter, but in fact, his name is Simon. But Jesus changed his name to be Peter. So a lot of things will go on. Now Jacob called the pet Peniel. It means that I see God and I survive. And here, it means that see God or faith of God come from the word Pen and El, two words. The El always means God in Hebrew. So it means the faith of God or faith in God. And he limping means that from that day on, Jacob is a new person. And the symbol is he not walking straight anymore. God put a mark on him now. It's like Paul when he encountered Jesus. Even God allowed him to see again, but his eye will get hurt all the time until the day he died. To remind him about his encounter with God, and God put a mark on him. And Paul said that he prayed to God 3 times to heal him, and God said no. Wherever the weakness, my strength is fulfilled or abundantly. Or in another sense, you need to depend on me forever from now on. Your new life. It's not you alone anymore, but you with God. Okay, I will stop here a little bit and come for your reflection. Okay, you have comment or question on this chapter about how Jacob encountered God and how God changed his life, not just his name, but his life. In fact, he met God the first time 20 years ago, and he on the process of changing. But tonight is like the final exam. He could completely change to a new person. He graduated from that school of God now. But
My question is if Jacob he didn't change his name, so it's still possible, or he have to. If he don't change his name, Esau maybe met him forever.
well, it's not he who changed his name. God changed his name.
Oh, okay.
Because God changed his life now. And the name will match with the new life. You know that the Thai even go extreme on changing name. Because they really believe that their life, their destiny associated with their name. This is why the Thai will never name their children lightly. They hire a professional or a monk or someone expert to name their children. I don't know, in your culture, you need someone specially to find a good name to match your baby. This is
No.
serious. Yeah, serious business. In America, they just use all the famous people to name their baby. Yeah, Nathan.
Do Thai people still do the same thing in America? I mean, the Christian people, or do they just take the name, choose the name the way they want it now?
Well, Thai non-Christians still, anywhere they go, they still serious, very serious about naming the baby. They need to consult the fortune teller, the monks, everyone, that what is the name, the best name for the baby, to help him prosper or her prosper, to help him successful or not. The name will guide them in everything. But for Christian, I think Thai Christian is more easy. Now they just try to name one of the apostle or one of the famous character in the Bible.
อาจารย์ I have a question.
Yes, Carl.
We know Jacob, he in the process for changing, God changing his life. And what is the purpose for God to change his life for?
Well, anyone
Why?
that God going to use need to change, because our life is not the way God wants. Because before God can use us, we are sinful man. We have sinful nature. We just do whatever we want, our flesh want. We don't obey God. We don't believe in God. But before God can use us, God need to change us in the form that we will trust God, we will obey God, and we will put God first before God going to use us.
Why
Okay.
why the angel have to leave because of the sun is coming up?
That something, in fact, angel can be at daytime, nighttime, all the time. It don't need to be just at nighttime. But we always think this way because a lot of time it's not about God or angel, it's about us. At that time, there's too much distraction. We cannot concentrate, and we cannot really believe that God, a spirit or angel, come to see us. So at night time, a lot of time when we alone, we can concentrate and we can see clearer and can encounter another world better. So we talk about different world. So you will see that in our culture, spirit will show up at nighttime, not at daytime. It's like we come from different world, different dimension. And we dream at nighttime. But when you see the vision, it's in the daytime. It's possible. So mainly it's not about God or angel or spirit limited by the time, but it's just for our own benefit.
I can see that the struggle and the problem that Jacob been facing about his brother, but he don't understand. God already told him, so I will be with you. But he don't understand about God, be with him or not. So he put that fear on his life. So that's that a purpose. God wants him to facing or?
Well, I think whatever we did, we need to deal with it later on. It's just in the right way or wrong way. So Jacob needs to deal with his brother. He cannot run away from it.
Ajahn, this wrestling here is actually wrestling, or is that a vision? Is that a dream?
We don't know much about the detail. We just know that Jacob encountered God in physically or in spirit. We don't know exactly, but the story go on that he limping after that, mean that it have really physically happened to him too. But it might be both, physically and spiritually, in the sense that God tried to comfort him, tried to change him and make him a new person, physically and also spiritually. But we always think that in the sense that fighting, but in fact it's not fighting. Now you look at the spiritual side, when we talk about we struggling with God. So what that means? In your prayer or in your spiritual life?
Basically, actually, we're struggling with God. Usually, is not because we struggle with God Himself. It's just we struggle to believe in Him. I think that's what it means.
Yeah, we can call it anyway, but it's still the struggling with God, mean that we're not submissive to God. We're still fighting with God in different way that we mean it. So for Jacob's situation, it's the same thing. He's still fighting with God.
That's a really true, Sajjan,
Yeah.
because we cannot understand what we're facing right now.
You see that God already confirmed He got to help Jacob, but Jacob still fighting, struggling. And God need to submit, make him submissive. So it's like God have to break him down.
Is another? Is there anyone else that God ever confront with like this in the Bible, or only Jacob?
Well, in different way. You know that God break down David in different situations until David's fully submissive to him. It's not one time, but many times, even he become king, he still need God to break him down. So you see that life is a long process. We not just one time and then we completely full or complete. You see that David, when become a young lad, he fight with Goliath. And he won. And we think that done. No. He still continue struggling, fighting, and God still need to break him down step by step until even when he old. You know that we have different problems in different age. And when we have more success, we have more problems. So now you think that success or failure is better.
Always better it's a success than to
Yeah,
have someone behind you.
Yeah, but success
Right.
comes with a package with a lot of responsibility. But failure also comes with a lot of package, but it might be a better choice for someone.
Well, we can say nothing is easy on our life. If
Hmm.
you need something, if you want something, we have to work hard for it.
Yeah, that's one thing, but it not depend on us alone. It depends on God too. You know that when you're young, your parents might teach you work hard and you're going to be rich one day. It's not true all the time. You know that people in India, in China, in the past, they work to death, but they never have enough to eat.
Explain this, Ajahn.
Mhm.
When God said, I already have a plan for you long ago that nobody can change.
Mm.
What's that mean? I know what it means, but still we're still working, we're still going to school, we're still trying, we're still all this. But if it's God already have a plan for us, then whatever can happen, it's gonna happen. It's a predestined kind of like.
Okay, let's look this way. It's like in order to go to one spot, you start with point A and your destination is point B. But in order to go from A to B, your whole life, there are a lot of, you might call alternative route, like detour. You might go around, or go in many routes before you go to B. So a lot of theologians believe that way. For God, your way is straight from A to B. That God plan. But when we decide or when we try to do our thing, we go around many places, and then we end up at B too. So this is the theory go on. Some go on route B, route C, D, E, F, G, all kind of alternative, but it will end up at B in the final that God planned. So this is the theory go on that when we're struggling, when we try to change the plan, we just detour everywhere until the end. We end up at B too.
Still end up the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that a lot of theologians believe that way, that God
Because
still in control.
I usually come up in my head, always thought of Israel, that if they are not if they are obedient to God, they would be in a promised land quite quickly instead of wandering in a wilderness and all die off, and most of them didn't get to go. Only the children.
If they obey God, they might get there in 4 months instead of 40 years.
Wow. I couldn't
So,
imagine that. How
yeah.
could not imagine that?
Well, they make it happen their own way. They end up in Canaan too, but 40 years instead of 4 months.
Is there any historical record that found that 40 years it must be they must left something behind as a historically for us to see?
Well, it's almost like a magic land. You know that because when they walk 40 years, that sandal never go away. And a lot of things never change in that 40 years.
Are they actually walking, or are they just go camping here a couple months here, a couple months there?
Yeah, they keep walking in a circle.
Okay.
And that is sad that 3
Again, I
million
have one more
people.
question. talking about plan. How do I know God have a plan for me? So how do I know my plan is?
Well, that's a difficult question to answer. Why? Because we all have different way to know the will of God. And God will show each one of you in different way. It's just you need to spend more time with God and to find out what is God have for you.
That's a question that I've been asking for
Hmm.
about it for all this year that I become Christian. What is will of God?
Well, in my experience, I found out that the will of God is not what I want to do to start with. But when I find out that this is what God wants me to do, so I keep doing it. And I always pray to God that make me love it and faithful to it. Even it's not my plan, but if it's God's plan, I want to do it.
Lately, I come up with kind of feel this is right, the way to look at God will in each day and each circumstances. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ajahn.
Mm.
Anything that is built up, anything that unite, anything that love, anything that glorify God's name, if we have to come to the point of making the decision, this is a guideline that I think that we should think about. Is it this one that build up people, even not for ourselves, but for others? Is it uniting? Is it peaceful? Is it love? Is it glory God? Thing like that. That's a will of God because that's his character.
Yeah, what you found out that the general guideline, that's correct.
Hmm.
But specifically for each one of you, you will know exactly what is God guide you. So God will have specific plan for each one of you. But what Chris say is the general guideline, yes, for Christian to decide. Okay, Nathan, you want to say something?
I have a question, Ajahn. As we know, Gypsy people, I don't know here, but in Europe, the Gypsy people, they like to live in mobile home. And most of them are Christians. So I was thinking maybe they are related to Israel people camping around.
Well, possible. You know that God spread the Israel or the Jew all over the world, even in China. They found a lot of millions of Jews live there too. And not just recently, but thousands of years ago. They moved to China thousands of years ago. And Russia, you don't know how many millions of Jews live in Russia. A lot. And even in India, so many Jews there. Okay, any more question or comment?
I have one more question.
Okay, go ahead.
We know the Jew, they believe God, but they not believe Jesus. And then they spread all over the world and everywhere and have Jew, but my question is, do they still not believe Jesus? They believe God, but they not accept a son of Christ, right?
All Jews accept Jesus as a prophet, a teacher, but not God. Very few Jews are Christian. You might say that just a few percentage of Jews are Christian. From the early day until now, very few. we don't know exactly why. We just know that they disappointed because they know the prophecy about Jesus or Messiah. But they want a Messiah that come to set them free, to rule the world and make them superpower. Yes, that's part of the prophecy. But they don't accept the part of the prophecy that the Messiah going to die, going to suffer, going to be humble. They cannot take that part. So they want Jesus to be superpower, conquer the world, and rule the world with the Jew. That's what they expect. All that will happen in the book of Revelation when Jesus come back the second time. He will rule the world.
May I suggest that we read the Ezekiel 36, talking about God's sovereignty and his restoration.
One more question about, and for us, we are the Christians, and we believe whoever will accept Jesus the Lord, and we save. But for the Jew, the promise has come from God, but they not accept Jesus. Do they be saved or?
It's interesting. In the book of Revelation, say that in the end time, when Satan rule the world, Satan will trick the Jew by building the third temple for them. And the Jew think that this is the new Messiah that God sent to save them, but it turned out that it is not. So by that time, 144,000 Jews at least going to become Christian, Jesus follower. So by that time, that a lot of Jews going to believe in Jesus, but they could be killed by Satan. So that the prophecy about the future of the Jews. The Jews still need to be Christian to be saved. They cannot save through the old covenant.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, let's go to another chapter. Let's see, 33. Chapter 33. Now Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming. Now he saw afraid. With 400 men come with him. And now Jacob have his family with him now. You see, last night he had a plan, but this morning he changed his plan. Instead of send his wife and all his treasure away, run away in direction, he collect them back. And he faced his brother with all his family. He get them together, and he's not afraid anymore. Instead, he walked straight to his brother with his family. You see his children, Leah and all family, Rachel and the two men, and all his son, his daughter come and welcome. And you say, the Bible says, bow down to his brother. It's like to show respect to his big uncle. And then Jacob also crossed over, and when he faced with his brother, he bowed down, showed his humility, and showed that he need not come to fight his brother anymore. He want to be submissive to his brother. He don't want anything to take anything away from his brother. Now you see big thing change here. The Bible says that Esau ran to meet him. At first, Jacob might be afraid that he might try to kill me. But instead, Esau embraced him and kissed him and cried. Now it's a chained man. We did not know that what God talked to Esau that night. But we know that God come and talked to him. And the angel might show him something too. and he changed. It's not just Jacob who changed, but Esau changed too that night. So now you see that when God worked, he did not just work on one side, he worked on every side and every situation under control. You see that when God saved Jacob, he not just talk with Jacob, but he also go to talk with Laban too. So God make a plan, perfect plan, and God worked everything in detail. We believe that God encountered Esau and talked to him. And we know that he changed overnight from the one who come to kill his brother. Now he come and accept his brother. And they talk and they become family again. And he asked Jacob, why you send a lot of gift to me? I don't need them. I have enough. But Jacob said, take it, take it. Now you see, this is the polite way of the culture. When people offer you some gift, you're not supposed to take it right away. In that culture, you have to say no 2-3 times. You cannot say yes right away. And the one who try to give, you need to keep pushing. And you need to keep, even he keeps saying no, because this is the culture. They want it, but they have to say no a few times. And you're not supposed to say, oh, you don't want it, I take it back. American will do that, but not Asian culture. You see that this is why a lot of American or European don't understand the Bible correctly, because they don't understand the culture. They always think that why they keep say no, and why you keep pushing, and why in the end, why they take it. Well, this is culture, the politeness, the humility. But you need to know what to do with that culture. Now Esau said that no, don't need it. But Jacob keep pushing. Finally, Esau accepted. And Esau said, oh, go with me, stay with me. Jacob said, no, thank you. Jacob never intend to stay with Esau. They better separate because they're so rich. And it's good that way. So Esau said that, oh, for your own protection, let me leave some men with you, because they know that thief, robber is everywhere. And Jacob don't have soldier with him. Esau intend to leave some soldier with Jacob. But Jacob said, no, we're going to take our time. We're going to walk slowly. So get your men back. Why? Jacob still afraid that if all his soldiers stay with him, the soldier might do something later on, or push him to see Esau again. So he better take a chance under God's protection and don't go back to his brother again. He intends to do that. He's still afraid. Even now, his brother don't want to kill him, but who knows in the future. So his brother left and go back. And Jacob went to Shechem. This is all the city that his father used to live. And his father owned some land there. And then he erected an altar there and called it Elohe, Israel. It just means that God of Israel. In fact, El is not real Hebrew. It's the native tongue of all the Canaanite people called that God El too. So this is the title. It's not a real name. Later on, Moses will have the name Yahweh for God of Israel. But all the El is not a real name. It's just the title. Now, in the chapter, it's mainly about how God get involved and how God changed the situation. And even Jacob doesn't know why his brother changed, but we know God changed Esau in order to protect Jacob and make them become brother and family again. So now we see there's hope. God can do it, and God can make it happen. Okay, what mainly we learn from this chapter? God want Jacob to reunited with his twin brother and want them to be good friend again. Even he tried to take away something from his brother, but he doesn't need to. So it's like what we try to learn from here is, whenever God bless you, it will come to you. You don't need to worry or never need to try too hard. You will get it. So why you worry about something that already belongs to you? You're going to get it anyway.
Thank you, Ajahn. That's a really comfort.
Yeah. And nobody can take away from you.
Only
worry.
God can make things happen.
Yes, don't worry too much. Just do what you can and trust God, honor God. Now you see that Jacob think a lot, plan a lot, and think that he can do everything his own way. But it turned out, no. Without God, nothing going to be successful. Everything corrupt without God.
Wow. Well, Ajahn said, I asking about my plan. God, I don't know what kind of plan God have to me, but my plan, I try many things, it's not working. So that's the thing. Where's my plan, God? I want to know.
Yeah, don't worry too much. God will show you things at a time, and you just do your best. But I know that sometimes we worry and we can sleep all night or several nights because we try to do our way. But God said that you cannot change anything. It's God who in control and make it happen. You just do your part the best, and then you cannot change anything. Only God can change that. And God just wants you to be obedient and faithful to God. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn.
You're welcome. I know that some of you who are perfectionists will suffer the most. You know what the perfectionist is? The perfectionist is the one that everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be that way exactly all the time.
So to be Christian, we're not supposed to be eagerly pursue our career, just sort of relax and wait for God and do just routine thing day
No,
by
I don't
day.
mean
Is
that.
that how it is?
I don't mean that. I mean that you still need to do your best, but let God guide you. Let God lead you. And if you are
Explain this,
Christian and
Ajahn.
you don't do anything, I call that lazy.
Explain this. I know that I read the scripture today. Is that do your best, do everything to glory God. Everything
Yeah.
that you do to glory God.
Yes, when you know God put you in something, do your best. Because God still wants you to do your best in everything to glorify Him. But don't worry more than that, and don't plan your own way.
What
Let
is
God
hard
show you.
is that as the Bible said, if you're a slave, do the best you can to be the best slave there is.
Yes,
And if you're the boss, do the best to be a boss because there's a higher power that is our boss. We are slave to him, sort of thing.
mhm. So it means that we all have different responsibility. The problem is we try to do the job of other people, not our job. And we jealous of someone else's situation that is not ours. I know sometimes it's a fine line between trusting God and do it our own way. Or to obey God and to be lazy.
I know that definitely God doesn't want us to be lazy
You're right.
because, like he said, if your slave do the very best thing to be good slave to your master.
And Paul even said that if you don't work, don't eat.
But it's not, it's hard to understand that you need to do your best, but don't plan.
Well,
Don't
the
plan
Bible does
your,
not say that. The Bible just say don't worry.
don't worry.
They're two different things, to plan and to worry.
Worry is part of the human nature, just like pain, Ajahn. Just like pain, if we don't have a pain, if we know that whatever we do is no pain, that means it invited dangerous. Same thing with if we plan something and if we don't worry about it, it will something bad can happen because we were neglected, because we are not concerned, we're not worried. It behaves
Well,
the same way as having a pain if we get cut or get hurt.
You see, psychologically, they say that when we worry a little bit, it's good because it makes us more careful. But
Right.
how much is not too much? It depends on person. Most of us never stop worrying and eat too much. It's like when people start drinking and cannot stop. And the good thing is just a little bit, but a lot of people cannot stop at the little bit.
Yep.
Okay, let me go to another chapter. That is 34. Chapter 34 is about the daughter, Dinah. You see that this is the only daughter that the Bible mentioned. And we believe that Jacob have so many daughters. But the Bible did not mention because this is the culture tradition. They don't put a woman name. Or the woman, if you are single, is under your father's family. When the woman get married, she go under her husband name, family. So that's why you don't see woman name pop up. She was called under either her father name or under her husband name, family name.
Oh, to visit.
And if father die and she don't marry, she under her older brother, family name. And that's the culture tradition. But Dinah is the daughter that will have something important in their history. That's why we mentioned about her. And what happened to Dinah? The Bible says that when Jacob lived in this land and Dinah want to have more friends, she go out and met local people, make friends over there. And in fact, it's not allowed, it's not approved. Because in the old Jewish culture, even today in Arab, the woman, the single woman never go anywhere alone. They always have some male cousin, brother, family, or someone go with her all the time. But we don't know what the situation. She went alone with the lady of the city, and then what happened? She was raped by a town, the son of the town leader. And for those culture in Canaan, it's very normal for them. This is how they get a new wife. You just try it on first and you like it, so you send your family to ask for the girl to marry you. If you don't like it, it's just done. So this is a lot of bad culture going on, and that culture tradition of that town, that city. I don't know, Jacob doesn't know, or he doesn't pay much attention to what's going on. Or maybe because he have so many daughters, so many things to worry about, and things can happen. Shechem is the man. Shechem, the son of Homer, the Hivite prince of the country, saw her, took her, and lay with her. It means that she just grabbed her and take her to be his wife. And now they need to do the right thing, mean that they have to send his dad to ask for her family about how to get officially approved. But the way they started is not right in the Jewish culture. But for those native Canaanites, it might be normal for them, especially for the rich people. They do what they want to do. And the Bible comes to Jacob, what he have to do with this situation. This is not the way they do, but he cannot do anything because all his sons scattered around taking care of the flock, and all his servant is everywhere. And he just keep his peace until he can get together all his family and to decide what to deal with the situation, how to deal with it. So the Bible says he hold his peace, mean that he did not do anything yet. Now the son of Jacob, all of them come back, and all the servants, all the cousins come and talk, and they got so mad. So now they talk about themselves, what can we do? In the meantime, Shechem loved Dinah so much, and he wanted to make it official. He sent his dad, asked his dad to send all the elder of his family to come to Jacob and ask for the girl. Well, they tried to make it correct the mistake. And Jacob feel that at least it's official now. The parents come to talk and try to make it official marriage. But God always warned this family that you don't get married with the people here because you're going to be special people of God, and you don't take the culture, the tradition, the religions of these people, because God wants you to be different. In order that for you to change them, you cannot be part of them. And they know this responsibility that God put on them. But now this situation happened. The Homer and his dad come and say, whatever you want, whatever you ask for, we will give. Now the son of Jacob will have a plan. And people say, wow, now it passed on, not just Jacob. Now this is his son have a plan. What the plan that the son of Jacob want? The son will tell them that, well, we cannot marry you because you don't have our culture tradition. The culture that's serious is circumcision. All the male in your family need to get circumcised first before we can marry you. And this is not just a joke, this is a serious thing, because this is a symbol that they have covenant with God. My wife have an uncle who falling in love with a Jewish lady many years ago. And in the end, he have to be circumcised into the Jewish family before he can marry that girl. Because this is the requirement. If you're going to marry the Jewish girl, you need circumcision. But we Asian, we don't have this as part of our culture. But he will go and do it in order to marry the Jewish girl. So this is the truth. But for Jacob's son, this is a trick. Why? They want all of the men to get circumcised so they can do something. This is a trick. But all the men there feel that, oh, nothing serious. And talk about circumcision. It's not just the culture for the Jew. We found out that many group of people in the past also have circumcision as part of their culture too. So this is not uniquely for Jew alone, but many cultures also have it. But for Jew, God chose this thing to be a symbol of covenant with Abraham, who don't have son, and Sarah, who barren. So this is a symbol of the covenant. So the Canaanite, Shechem, Homer, talk with all the people in his family and all the town people that, well, this is the proposal. They're going to marry with our family and become one. They're so rich. So why not get circumcision and we get all their daughter and all the treasure become us, belong to us. And the plan, you see that Jacob also have a plan. They think that their plan is better. We only get all of them, absorb them, we are bigger. They just have a small group of people and they become part of it. We take all their treasure, all their family become part of us. This is their plan. So all the men accept the proposal, they all get circumcision, and then what happened? On the third day, when they're still in pain, I think that they intend to make them worse. Normally, the circumcision might last for a day or two, and it's going to be okay. But here, I think Jacob's son intend to make them serious problem. They might do more than just regular circumcision. So for 3 days, they're getting worse every day. Until the third day, they're in serious fever. Now what happened? 2 of Jacob's sons came in town and killed all the men. Who are they? Simeon and Judah. Simeon and Levi, sorry. Simeon and Levi. The number 2 and number 3 son came in and killed all the men of the city and take all the women, take all their treasure, their goods, their herd. And Jacob so worried that, oh, now all the Canaanites will heard about it. If they get together and now we have big problem. But it doesn't happen because the Bible says God put the fear on those people. And they're not to harm Jacob. So this is the big protection. God put fear in their heart. So they're not to touch Jacob and his family. So only God can do that to protect Jacob from all these people. If Jacob obey God, faithful to God, and God promised to protect them. Now you see that Jacob might have a few hundred people with him now, but the town people have several thousand people. But they cannot touch Jacob or hurt him because God put fear in their heart. So this is a big weapon that we can overcome our big enemy, the fear from God in their heart. So you might see that some big guy afraid of a small mouse, or some big guy afraid of some small animal, or even small bug. It's not about the size, it's just about the fear that control them. So this is the situation that happened to all the Canaanites that God put in their heart. They fear Jacob and his family. So they dare not to hurt or to deal with the situation the right way. Okay, I will stop the chapter and come to you to see what you learned in the chapter and what your reflection.
So what God did do to punish this Jacob's son that do murder these people when they agree to do certain thing like that? That's a murder,
Yep, you're right.
being tricked, even though they come to agreement like a covenant like.
It's very interesting. If I put a question here to you, killing always wrong?
No, not necessarily.
No, you're right. It depends on who, why, when, how.
But this is a wrong way. They trick people into the submissive because while they injury, they kill them. That is wrong.
From our perspective, what they did is not right, wrong. But the most important thing is how God got to deal with that. They kill a lot of people. But they justify by saying that to revenge what the people did to them.
It's not justified for sure.
Well, people did what they did, and they always have good reason for why they did it. It's just how God going to react to that. That's another story. Yeah, we cannot say that what they did is the right thing. What they did is wrong. Everyone did wrong thing here. And try to correct the wrong with another wrong is not going to be make it right. It's like vigilante. You know there's some bad guy going out and killing people, and then you decide to go after all the bad guy, kill all of them. You intend good to stop the bad guy from hurting more people by going out and kill them. And we say this is not the right way to do it. But if the policeman go after the bad guy and killed him, we say that is okay. Why?
Because of the intention behind it, Ajahn. The intention behind it, just like soldier have to go to the war. If the enemy come attack our country and meant harm to the nation.
Yeah, that that each one need to fight to justify have war, why they have to kill. Like the government kill people, and the government justify that we have to keep the law and to keep protecting the innocent. That's why the government kill people. Or why we send our soldier to war to kill other people. We justify that to protect our people.
Well, depend on what war too. The way the United States do, I think some somehow is not right either.
Hmm.
To go send a soldier all over the world to protect everywhere. Everybody problem become our problem. It's kind of
Our government justified why they do that. They will find out the reason that why we have to do it. Sometimes they say for the future. They even think about the future. That problem not happen yet. So
I
it's
can.
difficult.
I have
Yes.
I have a. Go ahead, finish what you say.
No, go ahead, Carl.
Okay. I think that I know both sides is kind of wrong, but I think that the plan is the trouble coming up is the part of the God plan
Mm.
because that when God told Moses and to before that Israel go to a promised land, so they have to dry out for that Canaanite people. So that's sooner or later they're going to dry out those people anyway. So they it's happen now or later. So gonna be happening.
Yeah,
That's all I've been thinking.
you think that way, that also part of it, because one day God will send the Israelites to kill all these people anyway. One day.
yeah, but at the same time, they act on that something that God haven't command yet.
Mm.
They try to do help God out in ahead of God will, God
Mhm.
timing, just like we do. So in a
Yep.
way, it's still wrong, even though in the future it's gonna happen. Just like Sarah give Abraham a wife, try to help God.
Yeah, you're right. We try to do our way and we make problem. And our Jacob's son tried to solve the problem their own way and cause more problem. You're right. We cannot justify what they did it right. They did wrong. But the whole point is God still have mercy on them, even they make a lot of mistake. Mistake is mistake. We cannot cover up and try to justify it. Mistake is mistake. We just have to accept it. Man is not perfect. And all these people is not perfect. They make a lot of mistake. But yeah, Nathan.
Oh, Ajahn, can we say that another way that they know that even they are God's people, so they have to protect themselves to survive?
Mm-hmm.
Would
Like
that-
today, you talk about the Jew and or the Palestinian.
Compared to the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, it still happen after 5,000-6,000 years. The Jews still fighting for their survival. And they try to justify they have to kill to protect themselves. And they say, like the Jacob's children say that they hurt us, God. They hurt us first. So do we have the right to pay back, to protect ourselves? Now this is the same problem that today. The Jews try to defend that why they have to make war with all the Palestinians, because they start the war, they start the problem.
They're
They
not
hurt.
only start, Ajahn, they promise to do it again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I think we have to put ourselves into Israel people's shoes too, because they are a little country and surrounded by the enemies. So you have to be very sensitive. It's just like you have to watch every move from every enemy's move. If you don't react, then they will test the water. If you don't do it, then they will come and knock at your door.
Well, just like United States, and the only one building falling down from the plane, and several thousand people die. We was in the war in the Middle East for 20 years.
Yeah, we cannot understand everything. We just know a little bit of their problem. But we can see from the history that man tried to justify what they did and try to do the way the thing is the best. But we learned that it makes things worse. Now, let me put in your head, if you were Jacob and his son, what should you do in this situation?
Well, in this situation here, yes, they did wrong, Ajahn. At first, they did wrong, and yes, they turned around to make it right. And they even come to the agreement to be part of their culture. I think that, like God yes chosen Israel, but God still have a plan for Gentile to be Israelite too. God capable of turning the enemy into become friends. So Israel in these circumstances here is sort of the same, that God chosen people, but nevertheless, those Gentiles, they still part of the God plan in the future.
Yeah, you see that if they are genuinely changed or accept God, I think they're going to be a better situation. But if you look at the situation, the Canaanite who going to get a circumcision not really changed. They just plan that by doing this, they're going to take over everything that belongs to Jacob's family. So they have another plan to absorb these people into their culture. It doesn't mean that they're going to change to the Jacob culture, but they're going to absorb whole Jacob family into their culture.
But that's God's problem, right? God will protect them.
But God tell them, don't be part of them, don't to start with. So it go even beyond that. God told this family, don't marry them, don't be part of them, because they're going to influence you. But Jacob's son is wrong by tricking them to be part of the family by do circumcision. But it needs more than that. So everyone have a plan. Everyone want to trick one another and
They're
take
all
advantage.
wicked. Even both sides are wicked, just like us, I suppose.
They try to take advantage of one another.
Right.
Ajahn, could be the whole thing. God's already know it, and God's already allow Jacob's son to do that, because the plan that they're doing is no matter what the plan is, the trick, like you said, trick back and forth. But actually, maybe God's already oversees all that, and allow Jacob's son to have the plan. That's the another way of thinking it,
Well,
but we,
go back to the theory that God have point A to point B, but we all choose alternative detour
Mm.
our own way, but it could end up to point B that God have intention to.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's the way we look at it. Yeah.
Mm. Well, you have any better plan if you were them? I mean, were Jacob and his family.
You trust in God. That's the only thing we can do. Trust in Him, allow Him to give. If God lead you, just trust in Him, and He will provide all the planning and all those stuff. Yeah.
I don't know. I think for myself, I don't know. I don't know if I can sit and just wait for God to take care of the problem.
You know that God told Moses some situation like that. If the guy take away the woman, the virgin, and lay with her, and later on he want to marry her and ask the girl father have the right to say yes or no. If he say yes, then the father say yes, they can get married. But if the father say no, the guy still have to pay the price of the virgin, but don't get married because the father say no. So in this situation, if follow the law of Moses, Jacob can say no, and all the children can say no. But the family still have to pay for their mistake, for their fault. But Jacob will take his daughter back.
yeah, but in this case here, they say yes, and then they go back and then destroy them all. That both sides are wrong.
Yeah, both sides are wrong.
I think Jacob's side do a bigger wrong than the other side.
Well, but Jill always say you start the problem. It's not us who start the problem.
Ajahn,
Yes.
that's I don't think Jacob say yes, only the brother.
Yeah, Jacob want to say no, but all his son want to revenge.
Yeah.
So the family have no intention to let them marry.
They look like they both sides, they have their own plan.
Hmm.
So
So on Dina's brother trying to kill them all, and the other side's family, they have a plan to come by. Maybe they can get some one. Have their own family. They have their own plan. Each side.
Yes.
So to make up that big problem.
Well, the thing
So
is,
like
say, if we're gonna think that the Canaanite gonna come take over Jacob family and woman, they can do it anyway because they're bigger force. They don't have to submit themselves into circumcision. They just come in, kill all the men and take everything. Because they have power, they have more people to do what they need to do. But in this case here, they try to make peace with it. And subject themselves into a Jewish culture.
To me, I think they try to conquer Jacob's family, but in a nice way.
Yeah, they try to use the diplomatic way instead of military way. If they use the power, they are a lot bigger, 10, 20 times bigger, they can win for sure.
Because if they're gonna do military, it will take God to stop them.
I think the history repeats itself. Israel Prime Minister said, "You start the war and we finish it. We finish it."
Yeah, for 5,000 years, they never deal with this situation. Well, the Bible prophecy until Jesus come back. And the situation not getting better. Okay, anything else before we go to another chapter?
Nope.
Okay. Now we go to 35. 35, God told Jacob, now go out, go to Bethel, live there. Bethel is the place. You remember that Jacob sleep on the way when he go to go to see his uncle. This is the way very north of his place that he live now. Go there, live there. And hear what God told Jacob in his dream. Now, make an altar there to God. Mean that Jacob come back to Bethel. He promised God at Bethel that God going to be his God. But you know that on these many years, Jacob still allowed his family, his wife, to worship idol. You remember that Rachel stole the idol from her dad and take with her all this year.
Right.
And Jacob nearly serious about all this. He just allowed his wife, his children worship anything. But he himself know God, and he know that this is the only God. Why Jacob not serious with his family? Well, somebody said that he's so busy with his business, mean that to raise up, make more animals, more frog, get richer, and don't have time for his family. Well, it might be true in some way, but God want him to change that. His whole family need to know God personally, not just say that, oh, you are the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our father. But none of them really know God. And God wants him to change that. His family need to change. Now in verse 2 and 4, God now make it specific. Put away foreign God amongst you. This is the first time in this family that God specified that everyone, not just the head, everyone in the family need to put away all those idols, all the things that they worship personally. Change themselves, purify themselves, and change your life. This is the symbol that you see that take a bath, change their clothes. This is the symbol that they change their life from the old God. No more. This is the new one. And Jacob come to reveal his promise to God that you're going to be my God, the only God for my family. Here, he made a promise to God many years ago at Bethel. And now God called him back here to renew his vow, to remind him about his promise to God. Now we have to keep it. It's not just him, his whole family need to keep this promise with God. No other God now, just one God, one real God. And for some, it might be tough because if they don't encounter God personally like Jacob, it's difficult because it's going to be, why you ask me to throw away all what I worship for my whole life to a God that I don't know at all. So this is a big job for Jacob to teach his children, his wife, about the real God that guide his family for 3 generations, 4 generations now. And there are many symbols. As we say that, take a bath, clean up yourself, and change your clothes. It means that change your life too. You know that in the old days, people have one set of clothes and they put it on for many years. They take it off to wash it sometime, but they put them back and they have just one set and they use it for many years. When they change the garment, it means that they change the life. This is something new. And another thing is they put the idol on the ear. You see that in many cultures, they put idol on the chain, on the neck. But here, in this culture, they put the idol like the earring on the ear. And some women even put on her nose. You might see in some culture, this is the idol, this is the God. I don't know how they worship all this idol in the old day. But they put all this thing on their body as a symbol of protection, of honor, of what everything. And the Canaanites have all kinds of gods, so many of them, and all of them demand a lot from the worshipper. Like you need to sacrifice not just animal, but your own son, your own family, people. Kill people and sacrifice them alive for their God. And do all the bad thing all this God and goddess demand. Now, when Jacob and his whole family get away all those idols, all those gods, now wherever they travel, the fear of God, the fear of this family is in the people everywhere they go. So the Canaanites everywhere, they're not to fight them, or they're not to come to try to make enemy with them, because the fear of God is in them. And this is a good protection. It's not they are afraid of Jacob, but they are afraid of God of Jacob. And fear is the good weapon that you can use when the soldier fear. They're not fighting. They're running away. And there in Bethel, Jacob started building altar for God to sacrifice things to God now. And here in Bethel, this is the place that he's going to stay a long time now. The place that he make a vow to God and he met God here. And this is going to be a place that he stay a long time. Now in verse 8, talk about now Deborah, Rebecca nurse. It's not talk about Rebecca herself. It's just about the nurse. You remember when Rebecca come, she have a young girl with her. They call a nurse. Deborah died and she barely. So you mean when Jacob come back, he take Deborah with him, with his family. But Rebecca is not there anymore. And now the nurse died, so they bury her. You remember that Rebecca sent Jacob away and said that, oh, in a year I will send someone to get you back when your brother don't mad at you anymore. But it never happened. For 20 years, Rebecca never sent anyone. It means that Esau still mad all those times. Or another thing is Rebecca died in those years. So it's another thing God will come to remind Jacob. Now your name is Israel now. You are not Jacob. It means that now you change and your whole family that you represent change to be Israel. Mean that you cling on God, you stay with God now. Not by your own strength. Jacob means that hold on, fighting on. But now you depend on God now. And God come to remind all his covenant with Abraham. It passed on to Isaac and now to Jacob now. I will give you the land. Your children going to possess everything and will be blessed by God. And your descendants will be so many like the sand on the seashore. So this is another time that God come to remind his covenant with the family. And here the symbol that he poured a drink offering and poured oil on it. This is all the symbol of the covenant that he offered to God and also the sacrifice he started giving to God. Now Jacob will keep going around, as we say that they have so many flock or animal that they need to feed. And all these animals need to move from place to place because they eat everything to the root. And they need to move somewhere else for a few years so that the plant or the grass will have a chance to replant themselves. If you keep the flock, the sheep, the goats in the same place, nothing can survive. Nothing will grow again. They eat everything. And on the way, when they start moving, here the Bible talk about at Ephraim, Rachel, who are pregnant with the second son. This is Benjamin. And she will have a hard labor, and she will die by giving birth to Benjamin. So as long as Jacob wants another son, but he doesn't want to lose his wife, but there's no choice. You get one, you lose one. And this is not a very unique way. In the old day, a lot of women die because of pregnancy or giving birth. This is a big number. This is why a lot of men need to have many wives, because some wives will die when they're pregnant, have difficult pregnancy, or die when they give birth because the baby cannot come out or the baby is struggling and the mom will die with the baby. It happens all the time. Here is interesting. Before Rachel died, she gave a name to the boy, Ben-Oni. Ben-Oni doesn't mean good. It means that son of bitterness, son of sorrow. It means that you born to kill mom. So this is not a good name. But that called Benjamin means that the son of my right hand. So this is a better name. Dad don't want the son to have a bad name. And he will feel bad his whole life because he born to kill his mom. But Dad don't want him to feel bad. So Dad changed his name. Instead, son of bitterness become son of my right hand. Mean that son of my strength. So Benjamin is a good name that a lot of people use today because it have a good meaning now.
What does it mean again? Benjamin?
Son of my right hand or son of my strength, son of my honor. That's a good meaning, good name. And Rachel died and buried at Ephrathah. Today we call Bethlehem. And Bethlehem going to be famous in the future. It's going to be hometown of David. David going to born here, and Jesus going to be born here too. And here, in the end of the chapter, the Bible mentioned a little bit about Reuben, the oldest son, go and lay and have a sexual relationship with Bilhah, his father concubine. You remember Bilhah or the nurse is just a young girl when they came with Rachel and Leah. It's just the slave girl that Laban gave to his daughter as a gift. And Reuben and Bilhah might be very close in the age. Bilhah might be just a few years older than Reuben. So I don't know, for some reason they become and wife and dad have so many wives and so many children, and it's a mess up family. So the Bible did not mention more about what's going on, but it just said that dad know, and everyone heard about it and become a bad thing for the family. Israel heard about it, the sin of Reuben. Now the first three sons already have serious sin. Reuben commit adultery with his stepmom. Simeon and Levi kill a lot of people. And somebody put the idea that, oh, the fourth son is Judah. Get on all the blessing and to have the Messiah come from Judah, not from the first three sons that have serious sin. So here at the end of the chapter, talk about the 12 sons and talk about, now mention about Isaac. After Jacob came back for many years, Isaac died at Hebron. And Isaac died, Jacob and Esau will bury him in 180 years. So Jacob and Esau come back and have a funeral for their dad. So it means that if you put all the time together, Jacob come back home for at least 20, 30 years before his dad died. Dad died at 180 years. So
Wow.
that is a long time. And you ask how old is Jacob and Esau now? Well, we believe that 100 something year. Because dad get married when dad is 40 and wait 20 years before they have a twin. So maybe dad have them at around 60 something years old. So the number might be not work out. So when Isaac 180, both Jacob and Esau have to be 100 something too. So they live a long time. Okay, what we learned in this chapter. This chapter is mainly about now God wants the whole family to be faithful to God, not just the leader. Why children, everyone need to know God and get rid of all the other God that they worship, all the idol. The family need to be clean to be a family of God. So Jacob is the head, the leader, need to let the whole family know that this family know God, obey God, worship God, and only one God, nothing else. And everyone need to do the same thing, to know real God and don't have any idol, any other God in the family from now on. So that is the job of the head of the leader. Jacob did not do a good job for a long time. Now we have to be a leader, a good, because this is his responsibility. Now what we learn about to be a leader or to be the head of the family.
You have to make rules.
Get to know God. Get to know
He have
God.
to- Yeah, he had to know God, and he have to carry out the God command.
Yeah, you need to be a good example to let your family know about the real God. You alone is not enough. Everyone needs to know God, the whole family, and to obey God, the whole family too.
Achan, where is Joseph?
Joseph, just a little boy now. He don't have any law yet, but in 2 more chapters, Joseph will pop up at 17 years old.
Interestingly, Ajahn,
Yeah.
yesterday I read
I
about
thought Joseph is a big brother of Benjamin.
Yes, he a big brother of Benjamin. Now Benjamin born Joseph just a few years old. Yeah, Chris.
I read a few days ago about the Jesus lie of the ancestor, and I realized that, what happened with Joseph? Because Joseph is supposed to be one of the one that who really stand out, and then Jesus doesn't come through Joseph, come through Judas, right? Why Judas? Why Judas, not Joseph, Ajahn? But God used Joseph in a very special way.
Yeah, that's a very
And he was good
interesting.
he obedient to God.
We don't know why things changed because Joseph is the most favorite son of the 12.
Right.
But in the children generation, it changed because son of Joseph become the 2 tribes that run away from God.
Mm.
They don't know God, they deserted God. Even
They're too rich.
God put the tribe of Joseph to be a nation. You see, the tribe of Judah just have Benjamin and Judah, but the tribe of Joseph have 10 tribes to be Israel. but they did very bad. So the son of Joseph become king too for the tribe of Israel, the 10 tribes, for 1,000 years at least. But they did not do good job. They deserted God.
Is it because they're rich?
They're rich, they have a lot of power, a lot of people, and they deserted God day one. And people say it start when? Well, some people say that David is the real clear leader of Judah.
David.
David is at least 1,000 years in the future.
Oh, King David.
King David, yes. But some people say that it clear from the day that Judah went to Egypt and begged Joseph for the sake of Benjamin. Judah going to sacrifice himself, take place of Benjamin, because Joseph want Benjamin to stay in Egypt, but Judah offered himself to be slave in Benjamin's place. So
And one other thing, Ajahn, I realized that Jesus born through Virgin Mary, but Joseph is the one that who lied with the David, King David. So biologically, Jesus is not from King David line.
No, Jesus don't come from us. It just borrow the name of David line, that's all.
Right, because during that time, Joseph didn't sleep with Mary yet. And
No.
if it were, I'm thinking that I know that Christ have to be holy, have to be God, not of man. But I thought that Mary was in a line of David, but it's not.
Well, both Joseph and Mary come from David.
Is it?
Yeah, different father, that's all.
Mm.
David,
How come it doesn't mention?
well, the Bible not mention much, but when you look at the line of Joseph, father of Jesus, from Matthew and from Luke, you see two different lines. One line is line of Mary, another line is line of Joseph. David have so many sons. But anyway, the theory say this way: Jesus is the second Adam, mean that he have nothing to do with the first Adam. If he have part of first Adam, he is sinner too. So we believe that by the power of Holy Spirit, the new theory is saying that Jesus like Mary is just like a surrogate mom of Jesus. You understand the word surrogate?
Yes.
It means that the baby is nothing to do with the mom, mean that it come from another source. It just put in the mom, the surrogate mom just like a babysitter.
Surrogate mom like an incubator.
Yeah, nothing to do with the baby. The baby come from another person, another dad, the egg from another mom, the sperm from another dad, but the surrogate mom is just babysitter. The baby stay in her womb, that's all.
But the baby still get the blood of the surrogate mom.
Get the food, everything, but you know that the baby and the mom don't have the same types of blood. That's a miracle.
Interesting.
We also say every part in our body need to have the same type of blood, but the baby and mom don't have it the same thing. A miracle. The baby and the mom have different types of blood.
Because one of them come from God, right?
Therefore, because this is fully from the Holy Spirit, a new Adam, the second one, that nothing to do with the first, so have no sin. It Jesus is part of Mary, he have sin.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But the Catholic don't buy this idea. This is why they say Mary important, because a lot of Catholics believe that Jesus come from Mary egg. That's why
Well,
they
because they
worship Mary.
promote, did they promote Mary to be one of the God?
Yeah. Oh, Mary is not just mother of God, she is God herself. I
Yeah.
jokingly call that the Catholic have square trinity, not trinity, squarenity.
Really.
They have Father, Mother, Son, and Holy Spirit.
What is this mean, Ajahn?
Mhm. Well, they mean that Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Now they need to make number 4. Father, Mother, Son, and Holy Spirit. Now I call the word for them is squarenity. It's not the triangle anymore. It become a rectangle or square. Yeah, Nathan.
Ajahn, did I told you that I saw in YouTube there's a lot the Protestant Baptist converted to Catholic. What happened? And they're just some are pastors. What happened?
Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe they get so tired of their church and want to try something new. Where?
In America,
Oh,
and I'm thinking maybe just because they're converting just because of financially beneficial.
well, maybe the Catholic is so rich.
How they get so rich?
Selling salvation.
Oh, that was long time ago, Ajahn.
Well, they collected that for 2,000 years, all the land of the old lady or the old man that before they die, they dedicate to the church because the church promised them that we're going to take you out of hell to heaven. And even your ancestors who are in hell, we're going to go there and save them. That's why they make a lot of money. They make this for thousands of years. And all the land, all the thing worth billion and billion, trillion of dollars. Yeah, Nathan.
Beside that, I know in France, there's one place called Louvre. They have a lot of Catholics. They go there for pilgrimage because they say that Mary appeared to that place and a lot of people got healed. So I think because that place they're making a lot of money too. And when I went back to France, my mom, she ordered water from there. She bought water from there.
I have some friend who went to Israel and take the holy water back. They say that it's from Jordan River. I say that you don't need to go to Jordan River. Any tap water in Israel come from Jordan.
I'll get water from San Francisco Bay.
Oh.
Okay, so the chapter is about your leader, your job, your responsibility for your whole family. I know that you cannot make everyone believer, but at least you need to try. You need to be a good example for them. And all your children need to start young. Don't wait until they're old. It's too late. Start when they're very young.
Ajahn, I cannot do that because when I become Christian, I'm 35 years old, and my son is already old.
How old?
On that time, I believe he's about like 10, 15, because all my children grow up, and I have an example for them when I younger, but those are not good example.
Well, but it never be too late. We still can do something. Your students still can see your light change, and they can be impressed that there must be a God who can change you.
Yes, I think they see that, and for this generation, almost everywhere we go to the church, only see all the people in the church,
Yeah.
and hardly to see any young people there.
Yeah, I have one warning because I have seen a lot of family who push away their children from God by what? Mom or dad who know too much and pushing too much. So the children run away from family, from God when they have a choice or when they're old enough. So instead of pushing or nagging, I think that you need to show love. Not nagging, not complaining, not pushing, those doesn't work. But by showing love in action, that will work.
Yeah, that's really true. I used to be really hard for my children when I don't know God. When I know God, go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
When I become Christian and I stay close to God, and God let God change my life, and then I let my children to be a freedom, and I let them. A lot of people say, why you let your children free like that, and I say, I let them free because I know God let me free. I don't want her to be captive no more. And they become better, closer to me, and they understand I love them more. For the Sunday, when I go to church, I only say, if you don't do anything, come to church today. So the most time I saw they coming to church.
For my circumstances, Ajahn, how I gonna be good role model when my family are broken like this? I don't think I feel like my role is being dishonored, and my role is being taken away because that's what she wants. She wants to be the one who control the life of the children. So I feel like that father role has been taken away from me. She dishonor me, and character assassination, they call it.
Well, I still believe that you still can do something. Your children going to respect you or not because they observe your life, even not every day.
Well, Chris, I think according the Bible we're learning today, and we can see that Jacob and his brother and their family, they can become together. God can make that happen. So we still have hope from God.
Of course we do. I know we do.
Hmm.
I've been thinking lately, I've been thinking that, most of the people that I talk to, they said that I should not go back. But when I'm thinking about God, He's a God of reconcile.
Mhm.
Just like if we get an offering God anything, we need to go back and make reconcile with somebody that we did wrong to before we can do the offering.
Hmm.
So God can bless. Otherwise, God will not take our blessing or listen to us.
Hmm.
I have to be a sign of willing to reconcile,
Hmm.
because God is reconciled with us, with all of Jewish people, just like the scripture that I read a few days ago. It said that it said something like it said something. It said like, remember, said the sovereign Lord, I'm not doing this because you deserve it. O my people of Israel, you should be utterly ashamed of all you have done. But nevertheless,
What are
God
you
still,
reading?
huh?
Where are you reading?
Is Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 36, word 32. That's regard it talking about the restoration for Israel. It's a good lesson that God's sovereignty, talk about God's sovereign right, not that we cannot change. God do things because He loves us. He forgive us. His sovereign right.
If you have time, you reading that Psalm 119.
119. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm there yet.
Okay. I'm going to give you a break soon, and I just want to check that all of you have go to join some of the study group, and you start working on your project or your assignment.
Some Ajahn. I think
Okay.
our group starting yet.
Okay,
Not
that's
finished
good.
yet.
Kamsai join any of your group? Okay, because I did not see him come to class for 2 weeks now. You have any idea?
Kamsai, he texted me yesterday. He said he has men's retreat.
Oh, okay.
I think he might.
Okay, about the disciple, let's take a syllabus and look at what some requirement that we're supposed to do.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. class attendance and participation, that is 15%.
อาจารย์ can you share it?
Oh, sorry. Let's see.
Yeah, we didn't see that.
Okay. Okay. This class will have a few requirements. The first one is you come to class every week, that's 15%. And you read all the note that I gave you, that's another 15%. And number 3 is personal challenge, mean that you yourself will write a 1 or 2 pages about disciple making challenge. You can take from the textbook, we'll talk about a lot of challenge, mean that something that very difficult for you that you have seen in the textbook that make it difficult for you to start making disciple. For example, not many believer or not many support, or you don't know how to do it, or because your culture, this is some of the challenge that you're facing. Or you don't have enough time, you don't have enough knowledge or training. So you write something down about a page or 2 about your personal problem, that why don't you do discipleship training? Mean that you cannot help other people to grow, or you don't take any disciple, your personal problem. Okay, this is about you yourself. And I will allow you to do as a group too. If you want to use it as a group project, you can do that. And number 4, we call discipleship experience. It means that you will do 2 projects. The first one is you discipleship someone. And the second one is you get someone to disciple you. And you get write down the experience that when you disciple someone, how you feel, what you learn, what problem. Share something about what you learn. It's not going to be long. It's just 1 page. When you disciple someone, what experience you have, and when you ask someone to help you to be their disciple, and what you learn from that experience. Just 1 page of each. And project number 5 is the church plan. What your church plan to do discipleship training for the people? You develop the textbook, the project, the plan for your church. And this I would recommend you do as a group because it's more complicated. You get all the idea. If your church going to have this training, what kind of material you're going to use? You're going to develop a textbook. You're going to make a plan for how long and how you're going to do it. This is a group project. And number 6 is just what you go to join Monday group or any group that you have group study, and you get the point automatically. Okay, this 6 requirement, you have any question for each one? You can ask me now. It look a lot.
Ajahn,
Yes.
I don't have any question right now, but by the time I do it, maybe I have to call you.
Okay, if you go to the group study, I think it's going to be a lot easier. Some you can do it yourself, but some I would recommend you do with the group. because it's a lot of work. But if you look at the pages that you're going to do, it's not a lot. 1 page or 2 pages, that's all for each project.
Probably I need to take a week off and go see Ajahn Kong Sai.
You're going to come all the way to California?
Yes, maybe I have to take a week off and then go meeting with Ajahn Kong Sai. We can work together.
Oh, they meet on Zoom every week.
I know we be on Zoom every week, but it's on Zoom. It's like it's a little difficult.
Okay, whatever work for you. And then I say that it's all you can eat. It means that most of you not going to do everything, but try your best to do as much as you can. I don't going to demand you to finish everything. So just try your best and learn what you can learn.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for repeat again.
Okay. Okay, so you have any more questions, you can ask me later on. In fact, we have several textbooks, and my lecture note will come from many sources, mean that several textbooks.
I have one more question.
Okay.
That's that 6th requirement. Do you have any support for that requirement? Like an example? We can
No,
use
not
it.
no. Some of the lecture notes might give you some example. But the lecture notes are long. But what I require from you is just 1 page or 2 pages. So it means that you just sum up what you learned from the textbook, and you can put at your project in 1 page.
Okay.
The
Thank you.
textbook is long because it comes from a lot of different perspectives from different culture. But when you do your project, it's just from you, your own culture, your own church. So the problem is specific, not in general. And what you face in the situation is uniquely your church. It's different from other churches. Okay, anything else? Okay, let's go to chapter 11 tonight.
Ajahn, you record already?
Let's see. I'm not sure. Let me check. Yeah, I already recorded. Thank So tonight we talk about mastering the discipleship process. Number 1, mean that we got to concentrate on our part. So what that mean? In order to discipleship someone, it's not just you. It's about them, and it's about God and about the church too. It means that you cannot do everything. You can do just your part. And we try to concentrate tonight is what is your part? what is your responsibility. You cannot do everything and you cannot worry about everyone's responsibility. The success will come from everyone. If everyone don't do their part, you don't expect much. You can do what you can do. And another topic that we're going to cover is about moving the spirituality death toward life. Mean that a lot of time our church is dead already. And when that doesn't mean that everybody dead. It means that we a position that not growing anymore. We stop growing. So it means that way that we're not producing anything. We just try to survive day by day. So now we're going to concentrate on these two topics tonight. The first one is our part, mean that a lot of time we worry too much or we try to do more than what we can do. So we try to think that what is our responsibility in making disciples. Personally, it means that you see some young or new believer and you feel that you want to be part of helping them. If God guide you that way, it might be that this is your responsibility. You try to help this young believer to grow. This is your part. So when I say your part, it can mean personally try to be friend or try to help them to know more about God by sharing your experience. It depends. Your part can be a little bit or a lot. It depends on your relationship and what God called you. So first thing is, you know what God called you to do with that person. You feel that God called you to help that person a lot or a little bit. In what part? You need to know first. If you don't know, you just think that you want to help, but you don't know what to help. And God will show you, for this person, what can you do? What is your part in this person to grow? And more specific, we talk about 5 problems that we're facing or challenge that you have. And those 5 problems, we're talking about different situations. The first one is unbelief. So what that means, unbelief? This one, Jesus mentioned a lot about what disciple or people allow him don't believe, unbelief. And Jesus encountered a lot of time about his disciple don't believe, unbelief, or don't have enough faith. And what the first thing is how you help your disciple to believe. Believe in what? In the promise of God, in the words of God. They need to believe that this is the words of God. They have power in the words of God, in the promises. If your disciple don't believe in the Bible, now you have big problem. They need to really believe in the words of God and trust all the promises. This is the one foundation that we need to build on. If they don't believe in the Bible, you're done. You cannot build anything on that because they don't have any foundation at all. So find out first, they believe in the words of God, they trust in the promise of God or not. If not, you need to work on this first foundation. The second problem that you're going to encounter a lot is pride. Mean that a lot of time people feel prideful. They don't want to listen to anyone. They think that they know everything and they can do everything themselves. Now you have big problem. If somebody assign you to help someone who have so prideful, they don't listen to anyone. They don't trust anyone. And they think that they are better than everyone. Now you have big problem. And you cannot disciple these people until they humble down. If they don't humble, you cannot discipleship them. And nobody can help that person. Number 3, we use the word sectarianism, mean that we divide believer into many groups. We don't look at everyone as brother, sister. We make this one that this is my group, this is your group, this is a lot of different sections in church or in the body of Christ. If you feel that way now, you have big problem. Like Paul encountered 4 groups in the church of Corinthians. They say that I am James department, I am John, I am Peter, I am Paul, disciple. This is sectarian. This is division. If they feel that way in your church or in amongst believers, now this is problem too. Wrong spirit. So what the Bible talk about wrong spirit? Well, it can mean they have different gift that in the good sense, mean that they don't work together because they don't feel that God bring them together. But in another bad sense, mean that they are not really a believer, but they're possessed by some other bad spirit, but they just come to join the church with bad intention to destroy the church or to cause problem. And every church will have those people who don't really have the Spirit of God or born again, but just join the church for different purpose, goal, or reason, and they can destroy the church because they don't have the Spirit of God, and they cannot work with anyone. Shadow commitment. This is number 5 problem that we're facing all the time. Mean that people don't really have big commitment. They just say they want to do it. They just say they want to take part, but they never keep their promises. And they never commit to do anything wrong long enough. So we call shadow commitment. And you cannot depend on them. They might say they want to do it, but never show up. They say they want to commit, but after a few weeks, they disappear. So we have a lot of these people in church. And if you try to help someone to grow and they have this kind of commitment, they're not going to work. Because discipleship takes commitment. It takes several months to several years of commitment. And when people don't have that kind of commitment, you cannot help them. You cannot really work on them. So this is a big problem. Now we come to talk about some of this. Shadow commitment, this is one big problem. Wrong spirit, sectarianism, pride, and unbelief. This is 5 big problems that we encounter, that we face all the time when you try to discipleship someone. I just want to let you share which one is the big problem when you try to discipleship someone in your church or in your culture, and how you overcome them. Which of them that big problem? We found out these 5 big problems, but how many you got, how many problems you got, and how you deal with them. Okay, let us talk about these 5 problems first. Okay. Not belief, pride, sectarianism, wrong spirit, and shadow commitment. It's about fighting. Okay, in your experience, which one is how many problems that you have out of that fight and how you deal with them?
Shadow commitment.
No commitment or very little commitment.
Yeah. So we have a problem in the church right now.
So how you deal with them?
Well, I don't know what to do, John.
Anyone
So,
have good advice?
we need, we need that leader to for them to commit but like they say yes, and then it's only like few weeks, and then they disappear. They not show up. And a week later or 2 weeks, and they show up again. So we cannot rely with those. We can. So like I don't know what to do, but only thing I can say, we kind of ask them, are you willing wanna to do it, or but it's kind of hard for like those people to work with. So.
Well, some people can grow, but some people will never grow. Like what Paul mentioned, that you're supposed to be teacher now, but you still baby. You still drink milk. So some people will never grow.
And they're not like those people. They're not just be a Christian, like a new Christian. No, they've been there for a long time.
Yeah.
Like they claim about 50, 60 years in the Christian, but they don't have no commitment.
Well, we can pray for them or we can talk with them, but it's just like when your child not growing, you cannot do much unless they want to grow. If they don't want to grow, they don't eat, they don't exercise, they don't do anything, they're not going to grow. You can convince them, but they still need to work on. They need to eat, they need to exercise, they need to rest, they need to take good care of their body. If they don't do that, they're not growing. So besides praying for them, I think we need to talk with them and see they really want to grow or not. They want their life to change or not. If not, you might have to look for someone else. But I don't mean you give up on them. You give them more time. But you cannot rely on this person now. But I know some people say that we don't have many choices. That's all we have. Is that your situation too? A lot of time, that's all we have. So we have to make the best out of what we have. I heard one guy saying that I stay in the wrong place in the wrong time. So if I keep moving, maybe I find the right place and at the right time. So what that mean to you? So that person don't believe in hard work or in the work of God. They just believe in situation. If I just happen to be at the right place at the right time, everything going to be okay. But a lot of things happen because you trust God, you work hard, and God bless you. But sometimes, yes, blessing come at a certain time, and you happen to be there at that time. It's like you move to the place that have a lot of rain. It's nothing about you. It's just about that place. And a certain time of the year, if you need a lot of rain, you move to Thailand, you have 6 months of rain. If you don't like rain, you move to Saudi Arabia. Maybe you have a few drops of rain a year. So that's the right place for you. So some people say that if you want to go to all the big churches, you need to move to Texas. That all the big churches there. But if you move to the wrong place, you won't see a lot of Christians. So that's the way to solve the problem. Yeah, we forgot Tennessee have a lot of big churches too. That's where Chris lives. Okay, besides no more commitment, what is your another problem that your church or your group have?
And I think it's the pride.
The pride.
Yeah. That's a really the number one.
Yeah, in many churches, in many cultures, prideful, no humble, no
Yeah.
humility.
That one should take a lot of time. I don't know how to deal with that. Maybe just like Ajahn said, pray a lot.
Yeah, we still have to pray a lot. But I still believe that if the people love God a lot, they can humble down. Yeah, I believe that the prideful people is the one who love themselves more than God or more than anyone else. The one who love God more, they will be humble. Okay, we have two problems now. What's else that you're facing now? Yeah, Nathan?
John, where do you put it? When some people, they don't see that they need it to grow. I think a lot of time people, especially Mian people, when they became Christian, they think, okay, I accepted Christ. That's all I need. I don't need the rest. I don't need to improve. And then
Well, it might get into the group that don't believe, don't trust God. If you believe, if you obey, you need to grow, you need to work, you need to serve, you need to share. So if you don't believe, you don't trust, you don't obey, you don't do anything. So that is another problem. So it means that it's not just in culture, it's in every culture, Christian who don't want to grow. You see, you go to any churches, big or small, 90% of the people do nothing. This is the fact. 90% of the people who sit in church do nothing. The 10% do everything. And the church income come from the 10%, while the 90% or more contribute nothing. This is the fact. So you cannot expect from most of the people. You can expect from just around 10% of your people who are going to have commitment and do everything and give everything. That the average 10% of the church member who do everything. If your church lucky enough have 20%, that's lucky. But in average, it's just 10%. Do everything.
It is right, Ajahn. That is the number one. That's the fact.
Yeah, that's a fact
But
in every culture.
some may not even can get the 10%. Yeah, Ajahn.
How about
So,
the
yes.
hypocrites?
What did you say? Hypocrite?
I say how hypocrites, yeah. Hypocrites Christian.
Well, there always some everywhere. So it means that we are facing problem. It's not mean that our job going to be easy. No. It's going to be a lot of work. But Jesus started with 12 disciples. And it took him 3.5 years to make disciples. So you're going to have a difficult job, hard job, try to make disciples.
It's really hard to get the disciple, to make the disciple.
Some people told me that I still not ready to help anyone. How you answer that question? Yeah, Nathan.
Sounds me, Ajahn. You're talking about me.
I think you talk about all of us.
You know that we will never be ready to do this work. But we start what we have, we share what we know, and we learn by helping other people.
May God forgive us when we do wrong, Ajahn. Sometimes I'm scared to serve God because His word is precise, and we don't remember exactly what it's supposed to say. You only remember the story about it, but not exact how He said.
You know that serving God is start with your heart, not with your head.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the very truth.
Mm.
But when we serve God with our head, we have problems.
Mm. Yeah, you need to have the right heart, big heart, not big head.
Oh, Lord Father.
John, I see one person, same thing like Nathan just said, I'm not ready. But end up, he didn't know that he already been served God over 3-4 years already.
Mm-hmm.
He been very faithful and then changing his, lifestyle or everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can see it, but he still said, I'm not ready. I don't know, John, is this he's humble himself or, but to me, I don't think so that he's humble himself. But I think that he's accidentally said something, but he already been served over 4 years. I see that every morning, 5 a.m., 4 a.m., he wake up and then continuously every week, but he said he's not ready, that he's mentioned about that. But to me, when I see, this is my church member, okay, John, I see that, I can speak out loud, can say out loud. So, to me, he's very, faithful right now. I see his lifestyle is all changed. He been doing something like hunting, smoking, drinking, but now all everything's completely no more. But he said, I'm not ready. I don't know. Is that he just telling himself that he's not ready? But to me, I said that's fully ready already. He's been serving.
Well, in the sense that when God working in us, we feel that we are not ready, mean that we still feel that it's not us, it's about God. In the
That's a
sense
part
that,
of that too.
yeah, it's true. We feel that way all the time, that it's not about us, it's about God who using us.
Wow. That's why sometimes I talk to him and then he said, he said, I'm not ready, but he not reject. He's doing. Can you help me help our church to do the PowerPoint? He said, I'm not ready, but every day he doing. So maybe that's Ajahn said that, maybe.
What did they say, Ajahn?
Mean
The
that,
word of God said, it's better to have somebody that said, I'm and said that I won't do, but he went ahead and do it, and then the people that I will do it, but never did.
Oh, you talk about that two sons, right?
Their two sons.
Another one said yes, but another one said, I don't know. But that one's end up he's the one, right? You're talking about.
Yeah, which one is better?
so there might not be one answer for every situation. And discipleship come in different form, different shape, and different style too. But as long as they want to do something for God, I think they are good disciples. So looking for the heart of people, the people who have the heart, they don't need to be perfect. They don't need to know much, but have a right heart. That to start with. Don't go after the big head.
Go after the doer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go back to the note. Now we're going to talk about what is a disciple maker. And we talk about the model with Jesus himself. And we try to look at how can we copy what Jesus have done. And now we look at some quality. First, you need to be a Christian, a born-again Christian. How could you are not a born-again Christian and you try to make disciples? You don't have experience. You don't know Jesus. You don't have personal relationship with Jesus. You cannot make disciples for Jesus. This is the first requirement. You need to be a born-again Christian. Have experience with Jesus yourself, and you need to have relationship with Jesus. Mean that this guy growing, spending time with Jesus, and personally have relationship with Jesus. And love to help people. If you hate people, you don't care about people, you cannot make a good disciple. And you cannot make other people disciple too. So you need to have the heart for people. You want to help people. And number 4 is you trust. Mean that you trust God, you trust other people, and people trust you. So you understand the word trust. If you don't trust anyone and you don't trust God and nobody trusts you, you have big problem. This is the quality that we need to have. Then follow. Mean that you really follow Jesus in everything. Follow the Bible. And you know how to follow. And teach other people how to follow. And number 6, it all comes to Jesus. Everything is for Jesus. And you live for Jesus. And this is the quality that you need to have in order to be a good disciple maker for Jesus. Everything for Jesus. And you follow Jesus with all your heart, you trust, learn about the quality of trust, and you can share. And you see that everything is go around Jesus. Because you're going to make disciples for Jesus, and He's going to use you. You need to know Jesus very well, have relationship, and spend time with Him, so you can tell other people about Jesus from your personal experience with Jesus. So it makes sense this way. A lot of people try to make Jesus disciple, but they don't know Jesus at all. You know that it's somewhat like a joke. One of the scholars who translate Thai Bible from Greek is not a Christian. You think that this is a joke? But because he is a scholar, he knows the Bible very well. He went to Christian school from elementary until college. And he knows the language, the Greek, the English, the Thai very well. But he is not a Christian.
How can that be?
Yeah, but it happened in Thailand. Because he's so smart, he knows everything, but he's not a Christian. And I think that we should not put him at one of the team He have the big head, but no heart. So I don't think that they make a right decision to put him in the team. So in order to be disciple maker for Jesus, you need to know Jesus, have relationship with Jesus, and trust him, live for him, and love him. And now we go deeper. What can make a true disciple? Love the words of God. They need to love the words of God. They need to have a lasting commitment for Jesus and longing to know Christ. That person will grow fast and want to lead other people to know Jesus. So this is a simple quality. You can look at someone, you can make a good disciple because they love Jesus. They want to know about Jesus and they want to help other people to know Jesus. This is the perfect candidate. If you find anyone like that, they are the perfect disciple maker. Because this is not about knowledge, it's about relationship, it's about the heart, the love, and commitment. Now you see that the church failed a lot because we want the expert, we want the scholar to teach us. But this is not about those people. It's about real disciples who know Jesus and have good relationship with Jesus to help other people to have the same experience. And this is about life. And you see that if you go to their life, the thread, everything about them is about Jesus, reflect Jesus. And they know the words of God, they love the words of God. They love the church. And they love the lost people. And they're growing spiritually. So this is the simple thing. And in the last section, we talk about God plan and man plan. Whose plan going to work? So you see, we always have problem. I have a plan. And is it the same plan as God? And which one is more important? A lot of time, man plan will fail, but the plan of God will always successful. And now some guideline. God's plan is not clear right away. It's step by step. God show his plan a little bit at a time. This is why you say, how could I know the will of God? Well, you don't see it right away. You say step by step. God show you slowly, one step at a time. A lot of time is that way. And it can be difficult. I don't need to tell you that it's very difficult to understand the will of God or the plan of God in your life. Even you pray about it, you're waiting for it, and it's always difficult to decide. This is normal. And God's plan always prevail, mean that in the end, the plan of God always win, not man's plan. And God have his timing. You cannot rush God. You cannot tell God, I want to know now. It depends on him. And God's plan always the most important thing. So that's the first section. The second section that we need to talk about how going to move the dead part to be light to life again, mean that revive the dead Lazarus to new life again. We need the power of God. Everyone who died cannot come back to life unless God do that. But here we try to help the church that you might say it's already dead. Mean that share the power of God. And a lot of study found out that in order to help the church that dead or the group that don't care, or you might say that you have to share the power of God with them by sharing your experience with God, what God do in your life. And your personal experience or testimony can motivate them to try God again. At the end of this chapter, we talk about how to make your testimony or how to share what God do in your life to help other people to see the power of God. And this is some guideline to help you to make your testimony work. It mainly is about you care about the people. You want to help them. You start with that in your heart. And then be honest. Not everything perfect. And it's not because you are best, but it's about God. It's not about you. And always say that make it simple. Don't try to make it complicated. And you just tell the truth and let God work in the people's heart, and don't expect that everything will come out the way you want. It depends on God. You just share your experience with God. And always keep your testimony or sharing short. Make it short. Make it clear. Mean that before you know God and how God do it, and after that, how your life change. And make it clear, short, clear, to the point. And they say that avoid Christianness mean that try to force them to change or to accept Jesus right away. Let God do that work. You just share. You just give testimony, and you just help them to get some answer. And they advise that practice a lot. It's going to make things more smooth and more easy for people to understand. It's about the story how God changed your life. And this is the best testimony. How God changed your life, how God touched your life. Make it simple, to the point. And this will help people to want to know more about Jesus and to be his disciple. So at the last section here, what we talk about is the one who loves to share, the one who wants to help other people to know Jesus. It starts with our life. How God changed your life, and how you want to help other people have a new life by your experience, and how God helped you and changed you. Well, if you share all this, some people might be interested, but some might don't. So you cannot force them. They're not ready. Just work with the one who ready to be disciple, and help them to get commitment. And look at the one who love God or start the life new one and want to grow. And the one who doesn't want anything, you have to wait. You cannot force them. They're not ready. Okay, what you want to share for tonight about helping someone who doesn't want to be changed or to getting better? One time, a mom come to ask me, my son is so bad. I do everything and he doesn't care. I say that, are you there to pray to God that do something with my son so he will change? the mom say, no, 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 I don't want God to hurt my son. I don't want God to do bad thing to my son. I say, that might be the only way to do it. If you were the mom, will you allow God to do something to your son so he will change? I did not hear you, Chris.
I pray to God about my children like that,
Oh, okay.
that may God bring them in line, whatever that might take.
Well, that's a good prayer.
It's better to be knowing God than being alive without God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's our responsibility as parents. We need to do that. God, do something. And tell God, I give God permission.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Well, I have.
I think
Go ahead,
it's
Chris.
Okay, go first.
Okay. So I have some in my personal life with God. So God allowed me to do everything what I need to do, and then I have nowhere to go, so I have to go to God. So that's the thing.
Mm.
And when I come to Him, so I say, I have no one to help me. Maybe I heard people say God can help me. So, and I think that, and then I go to God. So, on the first day, my wife told me, my wife's Christian, so, and I am not. And she told me, let's go church. We need some help. So we go to church that day, and I heard that a pastor preach about Matthew chapter 6, verse 25. On that title, say, God will have everything. What we don't have and we need, and we go ask God, God will provide it. So I come home, so I ask God what I need. And then He answered my prayer. And I got what I need. And I said, God is the for real. It's not. It's not like what we think. So, and I continue to ask Him to help me. And then first thing I told God, I want to be a good person. I want to be a good husband for my wife and good father for my children. And I don't want to do a bad thing no more. Can you help me to change my life? And then he did. So He continued to change my life. And I started from there until now. So I still need a lot of help from God, but that's my beginning.
Yep, you have a good testimony, and you can share with everyone to start with. Okay, Chris, you want to say something?
I said that I was going to say that I think that we have to ask God the same way for what we ask God to do to our children. He needs to do whatever it takes for us to bring us into His path that He planned for us. Because actually, I just prayed that not too few days ago, that because we know that sovereign, we know God's plan is better than our plan,
Mm,
and I pray to surrender my sovereign right, or give my sovereign right to God for Him to lead me, because we know that His plan is better. So that way we don't be running around plan A, plan B, and plan C just to get to the same point where we try to be.
That's good. So if we can have that commitment to let God do whatever He wants in our life, I think a big change will come.
Because ultimately it's going to be like that anyway. What's the point of fighting?
You're right. Sooner or later, it will end up that way. It's just we try to struggling with God, like Jacob tried to wrestling with God. In the end, we still lose.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
In the end, we still have to end up wherever we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it's just our way. We might get hurt, we might get lost, we might take so much energy and effort. But it's easy to say than do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know what am I talking about, Ajahn. It seems like it's a great idea, but I don't really know how that's supposed to work. Besides, trust God to take it over.
Yeah.
Ask God to use His Holy Spirit to inspire us to do things that we don't know about.
Yeah. God will take over in His time, and we don't know how it happened. But we just have to submit ourselves and allow God to do everything He wants. And God will take over. So it starts from there. We need to make ourselves available and ready first before we can help anyone.
Well, ready or not, that's how it is. It's just have to surrender to His will, whether or not we're ready or want to do it or not, kind of thing.
Well, great. We're out of time, so I will pray with you and let you go. And if you need my help in anything, you can get in touch with me by phone or email or text or anything through the week. Okay. Okay, let's pray. Dear
Thank you.
God, we thank you for everything we learned. We know that we have nothing to brag about, and it's all by your grace alone that we have a second chance or many other chances to start our lives again. Help us that we try to be your good disciple, and also help other people to be Jesus' disciple too, with our life, our commitment. I lift up all students before you. Be with them, bless them, protect them, guide them, and help them in whatever they need. Be with them until we come back again next week. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.